I don't know why, but this month has been the busiest month of my entire life. It is by far the most amount of money I've ever made in terms of revenue, and it's not even close. And then also the most worried I've been, which is interesting because it's counterintuitive since this month was exceptional, and next month is already posed to set up to be substantially more exceptional. I've really It looks and appears and everything feels like we are hitting the point of exponential growth where there's very little friction to make a lot more money. I quickly and with just no friction. But for some reason, I've been pretty fucking anxious and scared that it would just be very easy for it to all go away. And so this is for some weird reason, the most frugal I've ever been. And I just don't think, my gut tells me it is not the time to be spending a bunch of money. It is the time to be saving a bunch and being able to run your business for 8 months, have 100% of that cash in the bank, because there's a decent chance that there's hard times coming. Because, well, I'm not just saying this because it's a gut feeling. There's a lot of economic reasons as to why it is not the time to be fucking spending your money buying a new car, in my opinion, and renting a super, super nice place, which we probably will do in Colombia still. But it's not going to be an egregiously expensive place. Because I know a lot of business owners right now that are struggling, and their business is progressively getting worse right now. And because of that, because I know that there's a lot of pain right now, there's a high chance that there's going to be a lot of pain in my sector, even though I've recently hit a quick pivot to a lot of my revenue is coming from quasi-recession proof businesses. It's still really, really important that you're not just being a retard, which I've pretty much done my entire life. And I've just been wrestling with this for a while. So the first goal is I need to have like 7 months cash reserves in the bank to run the entire business. So let's say I lost 2 or 3 clients and a lot of shit hit the fan. I could still run and operate and have my entire team hired for 6 months. And then we can figure something out and I don't have to make short-term decisions. Because when you make desperate short-term decisions for money, that has the longest negative consequences to your long-term brand and your reputation. Because there's been many times throughout my short career that I could have made a lot of money very quickly, but it would have been quick money. It would not have been long-term sustained money. And I've always thought about my reputation and brand over a long term way more than making short-term income. And I'm going to continue to do so. So you need to have a lot of cash in the bank. And then it's really going to be trying to buy income producing assets that are tax incentives, like billboards, for example. There's a high chance this summer going to be a law passed that increases the rate at which you can write off billboards. Right now it is 60%. That means if you buy a billboard for $1 million, you can write off $600,000 year one, which is catastrophically huge because the billboard's also going to pay you a 10 to 12% cash on cash return. So that is incredible. There is a very high chance that a new law is about to be passed that's going to up that to 100%. And the reason for that is billboards are in the same tax category as farm equipment, jets, and so that means jet prices are going to skyrocket. One of my buddies, he bought his jet last time Trump was in office because it was 100% tax deductible year one. That means if you buy a jet for $7 million, you can write off $7 million under your taxes. And this law is in the House looking like it's going to get passed this summer, which means it would be, if you're making a lot of money right now, you should be looking at these types of asset classes that pay you to own them that have substantial tax deductions. And all I would do is partner up with some of the guys that I know that are buying them. This is the benefit of having a large network of people that are doing really cool things. I mean, that's exactly where I would want to put my money, as well as just trying to grow and have long-term wealth and not just short-term gain and trying to get as many cars as possible and getting a nicer box to live in. I mean, that is not cool at all. It is perceived as cool because a lot of people you see on Instagram have all that stuff, but I promise you it's not. It is way cooler to have financial freedom, which I don't have right now, which is why I'm stressing. Even though I'm making ungodly amounts of money right now, at least for myself and to my own humble little pond that I swim in with our business, it's going well. And I think the reason why I feel like this is because I have a few main mentors that have really impacted my life. Like just completely changed everything for me. It was George Gammon, and I still work with him. He's still like, if I need advice, about something, I'm going to George. And that could be anything. And George I know that he's always going to give me the best answer humanly possible. He's like an uncle-like figure where I'm just like so happy that I'll be seeing him all summer in Medellin. And he lost everything once. He made a ton of money when he was young. He got into a fight with an attorney general. In a political battle. He was not in politics. He was running a business, and a politician came after him. For some reason, he wanted to make an example out of George, and George lost everything. And he said, Josh, it is not hard growing up poor, which I did not have any money. George did not have any money. It is not hard growing up poor because you don't know what it's like to live rich. It's all, like everything's just a relative game. They said, Josh, when you start to make a ton of money and you get acclimated to having the Lamborghini, the penthouse apartment, all the friends that are around you, he was hanging out with all these fucking actors and like NBA stars, like quite literally going out and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month at the clubs with these people. And he said, when you go from being at the absolute peak of life and then everything gets taken from you, he said, Josh, you do not want to go through that. He actually had a friend where he didn't lose everything from 2008. He lost everything in 2008, but not from the financial crisis. His business was still doing very well. He lost it because he got into this fight with this attorney general. But he said that the person that lived on the same floor, they both lived in like this fucking banked out place. It's the Esplanade. And back in the day, that was the #1 spot to live in. And I think this was the time horizon. And George told me that someone that lived like right below him or across from him lost everything from the financial crisis and then jumped out his window and killed himself because of the burden mentally that he went through. And that makes me honestly like sick to my stomach. My voice is getting shaky even thinking about that. And there's tons of examples like this. The second guy, Ken McElroy, Ken is literally like the smartest business entrepreneur out there in terms of focus, clarity, staying in his lane, making the right decisions all the time. Like Ken is just fucking like #1. And everyone that knows Ken agrees with it. He is that guy, 1,000%. So I work with Ken and I always talk to him and I learn so much. The same thing happened to Ken, obviously completely different scenarios. Ken told me in secrecy what happened to him and it was so fucked up and it makes me so sick to my stomach how he lost everything. And the fact that Ken is so cool he said that he just recovered right away. I mean, not financially, but mentally he got completely fucked over. And it makes me sick to my stomach, but I'm not, because Ken told me in confidence, I'm not going to tell you guys what happened to him, but it was messed up. And when he was making tons of money, like a lot of fucking money when he was young, and then he lost everything. He got screwed over big time. And he said the same thing. He said, dude, growing up poor was easy. I didn't know I was poor. He said, it's different when you're rich and then you have to go being dead poor again. And so that's what I'm scared of. I do not want to make the same decision that I think a lot of young people are making. And it's just because of lack of wisdom. I think that I'm the most fortunate person in the world that I have real wisdom around me of older people that are hyper successful telling me what they fucked up. And I just think that I'm smart enough to not do the same thing as them and just take their advice and not think that my ego is too big and out of control, that I'm smarter than they were, because I know I'm not. And I would make the exact same mistake if I was going to the club every single weekend and fucking spending $20,000 on bottle service, which is exactly what people sell the lifestyle of in Miami. But we haven't gone through any hard times, right? It's just, most of those people, they built a personal brand, they blew up, they started making some sort of business. They don't really know how to run a business. They just had an audience online and they found some smart ways to monetize it and they started to make a ton of money. And then that funds their lifestyle of doing awesome things, which makes them more money. But what happens when people stop buying their stuff? I mean, I think a lot of these like Miami influencers that are just spending all of their money to maintain a lifestyle that they probably shouldn't be affording, I think they're pretty fucked at some point. I mean, and most of them will recover and they'll be fine, but I think it's going to have a hard drop off and a lot of these people are going to go through severe economic pain. That's what happens in these cycles over and over and over again of these manias of people making tons of money and they're not running real good businesses. They just found small exploits and they spend everything that they make and they don't do anything about it. I mean, you see this cycle over and over again throughout history of different segments. I mean, the same thing happened in 1999 of everyone was getting super rich through technology. And then you saw the same thing with real estate in 2008. You saw the same thing with gold in the 70s. I mean, a lot of these people like just get completely wiped out. And I do not want to be one of those people. And so I'm just trying to take the advice of my predecessors, whatever the hell it is, and not do that. And that's I think why I'm concerned. Because now that if I could maintain what I'm doing right now, like there would never be anything to worry about ever again. For me, my family, just wouldn't really matter. And so I want to 100x the business though. So I want to have the foot on the gas while still building something that is not going to blow up, and that we could survive a lot of economic hard times. Because that's actually most businesses, when they go through a hard time, if they don't have the cash on their balance sheet, that's when they go bust. And so for the past 4 years, I've run the business by spending every single dollar that I've made. Now I think it's time to still grow the business, but be more intelligent about growth and have a big safety net to where we could sustain the business growing out of pocket, out of savings if we had to. So anyway, I just want to move at hyper light speed to get these big contracts done, because we're in talks with a bunch of different fucking companies for all my clients. I just want to get them signed, the paperwork done, and then there would be a lot of relief because I would have a lot of pretty secured income for the next year that would be like catastrophic. And so that's what I'm working really hard towards. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of effort, but once it's done, there's going to be a lot of burdens off the shoulders. And so then I'm going to free up a lot of time. I'm going to I just keep crushing it. I've been working like a madman. Yesterday, I really hurt my back, or I guess 2 days ago at the gym. I think just because my head hasn't been in it. I literally couldn't work yesterday because I was in so much pain. I was just limping. I was trying to lay in bed, but I was in so much pain. And so I think that was part my body responding to me fucking mentally saying, dude, you gotta fucking calm down. You gotta calm down. And so I'm glad that it's the weekend because I'm not going to have many calls. I'm going to Robert Kiyosaki's house on Sunday, but tomorrow I'm going to have all day to focus, just hone in. I can get like 4 or 5 hours done of super deep work, but I can still just kind of chill out and focus on just like fucking reviving myself, just getting shit handled, right? Like let's just go get shit handled.